But man, oh man, look at the activity. Look at it over here. I mean, we're pretty darn close to the garden. And look at that rabbit trail. That's serious rabbit trail. Hey, it's Greg here with maritimegardening.com. I was just out here shooting a video for my other channel, Outdoors on the Cheap. Check that out if you're interested in bushcraft, the outdoors, all that sort of stuff. I just did a video where I took this cheap axe and put an edge on it, turning it into a tool worthy of a mythological Norse god. But anyway, also a chance to win a free bushcrafting knife if you subscribe, if you're one of the first 1,000 subscribers. Anyway, I was out here and I noticed there was tracks everywhere, mostly rabbit tracks. But I thought I would just take you around. So the garden's right over there. I thought I would take you around and just show you why I need that fence. Hopefully there's a good range of things. I see a lot of rabbit tracks out here right now, but come along, let's go have a look and see what kind of tracks are kicking around. It snowed a couple days ago, so it's been about 2 or 3 days, as I recall, since we got the snow, so there's a good amount of tracks down. Let's go have a look. All right, so this is an area right behind my house, which is sort of like what we call around here bog. It's sort of looks like a forest, and there's trees, but you'll notice they're almost all black spruce, or there's some tamarack. Basically trees that don't mind being in really, really sort of swampy conditions. And it gets wet here. There's times here where I literally can't. So I've got like a little pathway going across the bog to the forest. You can see that tree line over there. The elevation goes up again. And there's times here even with knee-high boots, I can't get through here. The water's too deep. Anyway, right below me here is rabbit tracks. You can actually see rabbit poop right there, right? What we call a button. The garden, my garden's right over there. There's some tracks headed towards the garden. These are right in the, not in my backyard where the grass is, but there's plenty of rabbit tracks in the forest near the garden. Here's a really nice rabbit trail heading down this way and joining up here, right? More tracks over here. It looks like and basically you can kind of tell when they're feeding because there's poop everywhere, right? So this guy definitely, I guess he's working on these little young trees here. There's different kinds of trees here. So I mean, notice this tree here, it's completely intact. They don't like that. But this one right here, this is a maple. And they love, you can see how they bite the ends off the branches. They eat the buds, but they also eat the branch tips, right? Here's another maple. You can tell they've been working on that. Right, all the lower branches on the maple, there's one that's been pretty freshly cut off right there, right? These ones, some of them were cut off a year ago, some of them recent. Right, you can see right by my thumb here, a recent one, and then the ones a bit higher are gray, so they were probably last year. And for whatever reason, they missed this little bud. There's a bud right there. That's what they want, that little bud. I mean, basically the bud has the leaf in it, right? So that's what they're after. This is a Tamarac tree, just in case you heard of this. It's a weird kind of tree that grows here. It's an evergreen, but they drop their needles in the winter. So they're kind of an odd sort of tree, but they love boggy conditions. Anyway, lots of rabbit tracks here. A lot of activity over here. Hoping we can get in some deer tracks too. A lot of activity here. So we're sort of walking around the garden in a sense. Here's this is like what I would call a rabbit highway right here. Pretty well established trail. Let's go over this way a bit. Get closer to the garden. Really solid trail here. Look at that. Really solid trail. You can see they've really been busy down here. So I mean, I've got a pretty serious, that's not the activity. I mean, one rabbit can make a lot of tracks, but this is not just one rabbit. It's just too much going on here for it to be one rabbit. So yeah, I mean, they're always around. Let's get, the tracks are everywhere here, right? Let's get a little bit closer to the garden. Boy, there's so many tracks here. I wouldn't be surprised if I spooked one spooked one out from undercover this morning. But yeah, these guys are just, I got to keep them out. I mean, there's the garden right there, right? And so I'm like 20, 30 feet from the garden. Look at all these tracks. This almost looks like a den down here. I mean, suspiciously so. I'd be surprised if there was one in there waiting for me to leave. But man, oh man, look at the activity. Look at it over here. I mean, we're pretty darn close to the garden. And look at that rabbit trail. That's serious rabbit trail. Trapper's dream. And look, they've been up here working away at, I guess, you know, there's some wild roses here and some things like this. This is, I believe, I think that's an alder. And you can see the tips going off of that one. So, I mean, there's different things they'll eat here. Some of the raspberry. Look, here's raspberry. You can see they took the tip off the raspberry, right? This is wild raspberry. Even with all those thorns, they took the tip off. So, I mean, even in the winter, I got to keep all these things out of my garden. Oh, they do a hell of a lot of damage, right? But the fence seems to, I mean, we're close, right? The fence seems to do the job. Let's see where this guy went. He got pretty close to the garden. He continued up the hill here, pooping as he or she went. But here they are on the slope, eastern slope. All kinds of rabbit tracks. Anyway, just a little quickie video giving you a sort of taste of what it's like in the area surrounding my my house. It backs onto a forested area, and you can walk for days that way and not see a person, just you and the animals, and it's a beautiful wilderness area back there. But anyway, hope you found that interesting. Lots of rabbits around the garden. That's why I need the fence, that and the deer, and of course the other things. Although I haven't seen a lot of raccoon or porcupine tracks in quite some time. So that's a good thing, because the porcupines in particular can do a lot of damage in a garden. But anyway, I hope you found that interesting. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. And until next time, get out there, get at it, have fun in your garden. Thanks for watching.